What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for tuning back into another episode of Scorpio TV. This time we have Broccoli Animations, 2 OnlyFans horror stories animated, uploaded December 22nd, 2021. Now, all I really know about OnlyFans is that it's for people who make content. Like, usually you see some freak, nasty shit on it, but it could also be normal videos. People pay to watch you do shit sometimes, so it's like damn near like another porn site, but it's like low key or something like that. That's all I know about it. I've only ever heard nasty shit, like nasty freaky shit about it. So I don't have one. Safe to assume I don't even have the app or website, whatever. So that's all I know about it. Like I said, I've only ever heard nasty freaky shit, and for some reason we seem to have a guy getting stabbed in the eye, or getting his eye taken out with a fork in the thumbnail. So I'm assuming there's some wild shit that goes on OnlyFans too. So without further ado, y'all already know where all the important links are. Let's get into this.
I took another picture with a hint of cleavage and posted it on my OnlyFans page. I smiled as reactions started coming in.
See?
In the real world, I was what most people would call a nerd. I had big, square-framed glasses and I wore baggy clothes. No one really paid attention to me. But on OnlyFans, I was a super hot, daring woman.
See?
No one knew about my secret life, and I wanted to keep it that way.
Right.
I sighed as I reluctantly closed my laptop so I could get some reading done for my test. Okay, I groaned after about 2 hours. I had managed to get about 2 hours of reading done. I giggled and opened my OnlyFans page and read through the comments. They were mostly from guys, and they heaped praises and compliments on me. I froze on a particular one that said I should show more skin. After that comment, other comments like that started to come in.
Freak
I
nasty.
bit my lip. Considering it, there was no risk involved. I dressed up in my bikini and went on Google to search provocative styles.
Glacial
I
Sherry.
posted a few of the pictures I took and watched in amazement as the engagement on my page doubled. I went to bed early so I could wake up in time for my test. The test was a success, and I was confident that I would get nothing less than an A on it. After the rest of my classes, I headed to my apartment and went to take a shower. I lived alone and quite enjoyed it. My parents paid my bills even though they lived a few states away. I was 21 and soon to graduate from college, and I could hardly wait. I opened my backpack and removed my books. What's this? A piece of paper had fallen out of my bag. I picked it up and saw that there was something written on it. It read, "I know you, sexy Lexi." Chills went through my body and blood drained from my face. Sexy Lexi was my username on OnlyFans. Someone had found out my secret. I paced, thinking about the person who wrote the note. I didn't know what to do, so I just decided to sleep on it. My eyes snapped open suddenly. I glanced at the clock. It was 1:30 in the morning. I sat up in bed and rubbed my arms. There was a cold wind blowing outside. I frowned because I was sure that I'd closed the window before sleeping.
Oh, hell no.
I got up and went to close it, then saw something hanging from the handle. It was another note. "Sexy Lexi. You're even sexy when you sleep.
Oh.
Meet me beside the physics lab by 6 p.m. tomorrow."
Oh no.
My legs were shaking so bad that I had to sit down.
They've been in your
I held
house.
the note in my hands and didn't get any sleep. I went to the place the note said and waited. I was starting to get scared. There was no one on this side of campus and it was pretty dark. "Hi, Lexi." I turned towards the voice. It was Matt, a guy in my class. He smirked at the look at my face and walked closer to me. "Who knew that you're beautiful under all those clothes?" I swallowed and told him to leave me alone.
Boss.
When I said that, he laughed and pressed himself into my body, wrapping his hand around my waist. "If you scream, everyone's gonna know your dirty little secret." I shook my head and begged him not to tell anyone. I
Blackmail.
was breathing hard as he buried his face into my neck.
What?
I held myself still as his hand went under my shirt and he groped my breasts.
You ain't gonna do nothing?
When he released me, I slapped his face and told him to never do that again. I didn't post anything again on OnlyFans, but I still read through the comments.
She smacked the
They
shit out
used
of
to
him.
excite me before, but now they didn't. A new comment came in. Sexy Lexi attends my school, the comment read. I suddenly felt very faint. Was Matt threatening me? I messaged him privately and asked what his problem was. His reply was that he wanted me to be with him, and I had to be sexy Lexi, not boring Alexi.
Oh no.
I stared at his reply, wondering how I was going to get out of this situation.
How can
I
you?
paced the length of my room, thinking. I came to a conclusion.
Black man.
I told Matt to do whatever he wanted, because I wouldn't put up with his threats anymore. He didn't send a reply, and I was glad that it had come to an end. It didn't matter if people knew about it. It wasn't like I had friends in school anyway.
Right.
I went to sleep, happy with myself. The wind blowing through the window woke me up again. This time I didn't have a chance to glance at the clock. There was someone in my room. Before I could scream, he covered my mouth with his gloved hand. I couldn't make out his face in the dark, and I cursed myself for sleeping with the lights off.
You know who it is.
Not so brave now, are you? It was Matt, and this realization doubled my struggles. He straddled me on the bed and captured both my hands with his other hand. He raised my hands above my head, effectively pinning me down. He warned me that if I screamed, he would break a few of my bones.
Damn.
Then he removed his hand from my mouth. Please, I choked out, tears running down my face. My heart was hammering in my chest, and I didn't think I've ever been this scared in my life. He told me that the only way I could ever imagine to get out of this was for me to dress like I had in my pictures. I agreed to do it, and he released me. I wiped the tears from my face and took out the bikini I wore in the last picture. When I tried to go to the bathroom to change, he stopped me and told me to change in front of him. My hands were trembling as I removed my PJs and wore the bikini. I tried to focus on something other than his leering eyes on my body, but it was difficult to do. He stood up and put on the lights to see me better. Then he asked me to strike a pose. I was crying now, and I kept begging him. He sighed and told me that he just wanted personal pictures of me, and that after I complied, he would leave me alone. So I wiped my face and did as he asked, even though I kept thinking he could easily kill me, and no one would know who did it.
You need to stab
The
his
smile
ass.
on my face was plastic, and I felt like throwing up. Now, that wasn't so bad, was it? He smiled at me, then reached out to pet my hair. He told me that if he ever got bored, he would come back for me. When he left, I crumbled into a ball and cried for a long time. I knew that if he came again, I wouldn't be able to stop him. The only thing I could do was to report him, and I wasn't sure I had the courage to. I
Stab
could
his
only hope the
ass.
situation wouldn't get worse.
That went by at the speed of light. I couldn't even read that shit. You needed to stab his
Sheila, stop! I protested as my sister dragged me to the bathroom.
Loud.
She shushed me and told me if I didn't want violence, I should comply with her. I sighed in frustration. Sheila was my twin sister, and we were alike in everything other than our personalities. Sheila was bold and daring. She was never shy or scared to speak what was on her mind. I, on the other hand, was more cautious and conservative than she was. Sheila was studying fashion while I was studying psychology. It didn't matter that we had different majors because we were in the same university. Our friends sometimes confused us for each other. I stayed silent as Sheila curled my hair to look like hers. Her plan was the infamous twin snitch. The last time we did it was in 3rd grade. Now I would live a day in her life, and she would live in mine, too. She straightened her hair already, and when she was done with me, she sighed in contentment, saying that I looked gorgeous. I couldn't even argue with her if I wanted to. I was the type to take anything she threw at me. My calm attitude betrayed me in situations like when I need to talk. Besides, it couldn't be that bad. The last one we did in 3rd grade almost put us in trouble. Put me in trouble. But we got around it, and we could probably do the same this time, too. When she was done with styling me and dressing me in rather short clothes that felt very uncomfortable and almost resulted in a fight, I just gave in and left the room for classes. The twin switch also meant that I had to attend her classes for the day, and she had to attend mine, which was probably going to be the hardest part because her friends were always unnecessarily proud and loud, while my friends were just bookworms that Sheila was definitely going to have a hard time getting familiar with as well. As I stepped out of the hostel, I noticed someone in a black hoodie and glasses who stood by the entrance. It was weird to see a guy in the girls' hostel that early, but it was none of my business. He could be here to see his sister, or to collect something from someone. I kept walking to class, which was also a weird behavior for Sheila. She was not an early bird, and going to class early was not her thing, but I was also not the type to stay in the room till late in the morning. Everyone knew Amelia as a good student, and even if I was going to be Sheila for a day, I wanted to keep my good records the way it was. Sheila didn't tell me the reason for the twin switch, but I just took it as one of the days she wanted to have fun, and I had no choice but to follow the idea. Sheila ended up doing crazy things and dragging me to it every single time. I couldn't count the number of times I took the blame for her. I noticed that the guy I saw earlier was behind me, but this time he was on his phone. He was probably a student of fashion class as well, and I didn't recognize him because I didn't know Sheila's classmates so well. Thinking about it again, was he waiting for me when I saw him earlier?
About to
It
say.
would have been weird for him not to say anything to him when he saw me. Whatever, it wasn't my business.
It is.
I sat down quietly in class, and the mysterious guy sat beside me.
Shit's goofy.
I was right, he was also a student of the class. He dropped his bag on the chair. "Hi," he said. I raised my head to see his face turn to me. "Hi," I replied before facing my books that were on the table. "Psychology and fashion class?" the guy asked, which made me realize that I forgot to pick up Sheila's textbooks and give her mine. "Yeah, just a fan of psychology," I had to give him a reply. "Just like I'm a fan of your page on OnlyFans," he said. Quite confused at what he was talking about, I asked, "I don't understand what you're talking about. What page? What's OnlyFans?"
Oh, shit.
I love the pretense. I knew you were not going to admit it, and I know it's been a while since you posted pictures.
Your sister
Have you
has
changed?
Your
I
twin.
know about girls like you, fake bitches. I promise to make your life a living hell and mess you up,
No one else
he
hears
said,
this?
and my mouth opened in shock. Before I had the chance to ask for any explanation, he took his bag and he left, leaving me confused. I pushed it to the back of my mind, hoping to ask Sheila about it since it was her class. She could understand it better. The classes went by quickly, and as much as I tried to forget the incident with the guy earlier, I couldn't. It kept playing in my mind over and over again. I was almost out of the class when a hand pulled me by the neck of my shirt. I straightened my posture, and I looked back to see the same guy from earlier, still dressed in his black outfit with his glasses. He grabbed my arm and tightened his grip on it. I yelped, and then he laughed before releasing me. After a long day, I walked into the room to see Sheila in tears and curled up on her bed. When she noticed my presence, she straightened up herself and cleaned her eyes, but not before I could notice it. "Amelia, you're back. How was today? Had fun being me?"
Man, cut the
She
bullshit.
put up her usual bold, confident self, but I could easily see through it.
Screw all that.
I asked her why she was crying,
You got some
and
explaining
she
to do.
dissolved into tears. She told me that she had opened an OnlyFans account due to the pressure from her friends and because of the money. She got comfortable with posting nudes of herself and other content while being paid through her fans.
Nasty, freaky shit.
When she explained the whole thing, I understood it. The same guy who threatened me today had been threatening her for a while now. I got furious and marched out of the room. I knew his room and I would make him pay. As I walked to the boys' dorm, I saw him walking out and quickly hid myself before following
Don't
him.
do nothing stupid now.
I knew what I had to do. If anyone was hurting my sister, I'd take care of it by making sure they no longer breathed.
Oh. Oh, that's where it ends? Damn, man. Bro, why you... Like, I like Broccoli Animation's content. It's just, I hate that it ends when it's about to get good. Like, she was about to take his ass out. She said, if you mess with my sister, I will make sure that you will no longer breathe. Like, she was about to take his ass clean out. He saw that she was, like, fighting him back, like, earlier when he grabbed her arm and shit like that. Her sister probably wasn't doing all that. Like, her sister was probably submissive with it, since he had been messing with her for a while. basically harassing her. But because of your sister's actions, you almost got effed up. Damn. That's crazy. And the first story, bro, again, I'm not the toughest guy in the world, and I will never try to act like I'm a tough guy. But, bro, if you break up in my house, or if you find some way into my house and you're not supposed to be here, that's it for you. You're done. It's curtains. You can cancel Christmas, pal. Like, stick a fork in you. You're done. Like, there is no discussion. Once you're in my property, such as my apartment or my house, it could be my car, and I'm in it and my life is in danger, I'm taking you out, bro. I'm not gonna show it on screen, but I know y'all know what that sound is. I'd rather be caught with than without. And on that note, that's all I gotta say about this video. Like I said, I've only ever heard freaky, nasty shit about OnlyFans. The first story was the provocative pictures, and the second story was completely nude pictures, and they get paid for it. So it's crazy because the people who are in charge of these pages, they're getting younger and younger. It's not just adults. Like, I've heard of like 15 to 17-year-olds having this shit, but like faking their age and shit like that. Like, you gotta be careful on shit like that, bro. It's like crazy. It's like this whole generation is just wild, bro. Like, no cap. But I'm telling you, bro, see, if I ever have kids, I have a daughter and I catch her on that, I ain't gonna say too much. It's gonna be some misunderstandings. It's gonna be some furniture moving. And on that note, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you drop a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel. Make sure the bell icon is tapped. I want you to stay safe, stay blessed, stay humble, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.